This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network with Crispy Bacon and Dragon Viper. I'm James Gonzalez. I don't have a nickname, but I wanted to come on before we get into anything else because I don't know if anybody really knows. I grew up in Southern California, moved down to San Diego, and KTLA-5 is a huge TV station. And it's, based out of, LA, and they would simulcast it down here to San Diego. So I never lost track of KTLA. Lately I have, just because I haven't been there in a while. But ever since I was young and then after that, I'd always watch the morning news there to get my day started. Always around 7 a.m. till 9, before I went to school, before I went to work. It was always a pillar in my life. And I just appreciate things more as I watch, old film of stuff. This afternoon, we lost a legend, I think, in the entertainment reporting business. He was known really everywhere and by everyone, and he's been everywhere. Sam Rubin, a longtime entertainment reporter for KTLA, passed away today at the age of 64. Died of a sudden heart attack this afternoon. KTLA later went on the air to scramble and put, a reel together of how he was loved by everyone. I'm talking about A-list celebrities here. He would go to the award shows in Southern California. People would know him. People would come up and talk to him. They would never shy away from him. He was loved by everyone. I really mean that. He started at KTLA in 1991. And then in 1993, they came up with the KTLA Morning News, and that was just a big thing. Because then everybody started to do it. But for some reason, I always watched it. I always woke up and said, okay, I'm going to turn on right at like 6:58. I'm ready to go. It was always a thing for me. And little by little, I'm losing all my voices growing up, and it's a really sad thing for me. I'm never in the business. This is as close as I'm getting. But the sudden passing, devastated all the coworkers there at KTLA. Again, started in 91, the morning show in 93, and it just kept building on and on and on. And it's just amazing to see the outreach. I mean, nationally, everybody reporting on this, because he would be the MC of events and whatnot. He would be on the, big stages of reporting for any award show going on. He was always kind and nice and friendly with people. But if you crossed him, I just saw it earlier today, but when Perez Hilton had a little attitude with him, he came on the air one day and explained why he wasn't on the show and how petty it was by Hilton. And he's really nobody now. I haven't heard from Perez Hilton in a while. But he just meant the world to everybody and loved by everyone. Now, I'll really miss him because every once in a while I would go on YouTube and I would just watch whatever I could from KTLA, from the news. And I would really enjoy it as if I was back home. Some other things: he was born down here in San Diego in 1960. He earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree from LA's Occidental College before launching his local news career. And it's a big thing. Once you get to LA, that's like big time. New York, LA, Chicago, um, so many awards. He was always a fixture again at the Academy Awards, the Emmys, the Critics' Choice Awards, galas, and much, much more. So all the outpouring going on. He leaves behind Leslie Rubin, his wife, among others, and 4 children. And it's just a sad day, I think, for not only Southern California news, but entertainment news. This is Entertainment Hour, by the way. And just a heart-wrenching day, I think, for me personally, and then everybody in Southern California, definitely. Dragon Viper, you did have some news, and I did not catch kicking it yesterday. I was trying to be a bowler, and I failed miserably last night. Scores in the 70s and 80s. Not so good. Not so good. When the ball goes in the gutter more than often, it's not a good thing. But you had some news today, or sorry, from yesterday, I believe. Susan Buckner passed away at 72. She was an actor from Grease, among other things. She was the cheerleading friend of Olivia Newton-John. Her name was Patty Simcox in that movie. I'm pretty sure Ace would know more than I about it. She died peacefully, I think, on May 2nd, and no cause of death was mentioned. But she was born in Seattle, Washington. She was Miss Washington back in 1971, represent the state back in 72. I wasn't really known what else she did, but she was on The Love Boat, The Hardy Boys, and the Nancy Drew Mysteries. Police Academy 6, City Under Siege. I do not remember that one out of all the police academies. But do you have any more information, Dragon Viper?
Oh, I mean, you pretty much touched on everything, and I know we talked about it last night on Kicking It, but I wanted to bring it up as this is Entertainment Hour, and she was part of entertainment. So, but yeah, it's. I mean, you pretty much touched everything, and I mean, a couple other shows that she was on was Starsky and Hutch and the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. And it's like what was said last night. Prayer, thoughts and prayers for the casting for Grease, especially people like John Travolta, because of losing 2 of his cast members, within the past year. So, I mean, that's other than that, you pretty much hit it on the head on what I was going to discuss on here. So,
funny note, not funny, I should say, but interesting note. I whenever I'm in LA and visit the city of Norwalk, I go by the high school where Grease was filmed, and now every time I go by it, I can't help to think of Ace and how much he loves that film. I don't know about Grease 2, but I know he loves Grease.
I love Grease also. I mean, I'm kind of trying to hide saying it because it is such an older movie and kind of dorky at the same time. But I like it. So Grease 2 definitely a flop. Definitely. I watched, I think, maybe 15 minutes of it, and I'm like, no, this just ain't right. So. Grease 1 definitely was a really good movie, and and she did well for Susan did well for what her role on the movie, and yeah, so great movie, and she's definitely going to be missed especially by her cast members.
You think there's a chance we could get Ace one day to just karaoke the Grease song? I think that'd be awesome.
I don't know if I want to hear him sing. I think I've heard him sing once, and I'm like, okay, Don't quit your day job.
Somehow he's got to lose a bet, and we got to have that happen.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
you have anything to add for the two losses we've had recently in the entertainment world?
Yeah, it's rough, when anybody passes, especially in movies, or just entertainment world. They'll be missed. Not a lot of entertainment news coverage here in Dallas, but I mean they do cover it, but no big names. But they both of them will be missed.
Yeah, I'm still just trying to process it all because yesterday morning, Sam Rubin literally was interviewing Jane Seymour at the news desk, going about his business. And I didn't get to see the interview yet, but I was thinking, man, I haven't heard from James Seymour in forever. But it's just amazing how life is and how life is, I guess, that precious. And you lose someone who you just saw yesterday. Just imagine that whole newsroom, that whole building, just shocked by this the next day, honestly. All right, so let's get Chris quickly to all the programs the C2C has. Don't forget, not only are you watching Entertainment Hour tonight, but tomorrow, I believe we have Oregon Cougar football, correct?
We do, yeah.
Okay, so Oregon Cougar women football, look out for that. I think it's either noon or 6. I want to
It's
Saturday
like
at 6.
6
All
p.m.
don't know.
Pacific.
Last year there were some noon ones, I think, but this year is at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
And me, Chris, and whomever else wants to join, Greg and Big B and whomever, we've moved that show Sundays at 7. We talk about the MLB, and there's a lot of interesting topics. The Padres and Dodgers are playing right now. That's a big series. Pittsburgh has brought up someone from the minor leagues, and his start will be tomorrow. So look out for that on Sunday if you like baseball. And then Between the Ropes, we'll fit that in. Is that right? Sundays at 11 p.m. Pacific?
No, that's
9
wrong.
p.m.
It's supposed to be 9
p.m.
p.m.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. 9 p.m. Pacific time for Between the
One of
Ropes.
my
Right
time.
after. Right. Right after On Deck, just get yourself prepared. Make another bag of popcorn or whatever you have to snack on, and these guys will break down the wrestling world and all the wild stuff going on from the top ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget Bro Code on Mondays at 10 p.m. C2C Rankum Tuesdays at 7 a.m. That'll get your day started, won't it? C2C at night with me and me and Callan McClurg at 10 p.m. on Tuesday. Sportsman Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Kicking It Thursdays at 8 p.m. And I'm pretty sure I missed a good one yesterday. And then Roundtable monthly at 9 p.m. on Fridays, replacing this show. So look out for that and get ready for that for sure. And then don't forget, Press Row is every Thursday with Callum McClurg. He takes you behind the scenes of sports media and gives his thunderous takes of the sports world on Thursdays. So check out Callum McClurg at noon Pacific time for your lunchtime out here on the West Coast on Press Row. Okay, so since Sunday is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers. Thank you, Mom. I gotta ask, what's our favorite mother in either movies or television? For me, it's Vivian Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, the first one, not the second. I don't mind the second one, but the first one, she had so much energy and joy. I mean, she tried out as older as she was. Remember for a dance crew or something like that. She absolutely killed it when everybody thought that she was too old, she couldn't move. She would keep the house in order. She would check Will Smith when he would get out of line at the Bel Air Academy. She would comfort everyone. And so I really enjoyed her. And I'm just happy, too, that Will and her kind of got together, and whatever happened. It was in the past. And I always remember the episodes too where she was pregnant, and she was still doing the shows in that character. It was just amazing to me to see that back then. Dragon Viper, I'll ask you, what's your favorite mother
You
in
know,
TV and movies?
I went with TV. I'm going off of one of my favorite shows of all time, and I would watch it on, you know, Friday nights when they had, TGI Fridays or
Mm-hmm.
TGIF. But I'm going off the show Boy Meets World. Amy Matthews, whose real name is Betsy Mae Randall. I thought she was an amazing mom on that show. She did a really great job as the acting on the show, and she was in every single season. And I mean, even the spinoff Girl Meets World, she would make an appearance here and there. But I really liked her as a mom. I thought the the role that she played, she did, like I said, she did well. And her comedic side with her husband and kids. And so yeah, great show, great actress, and a great mom on the show.
That show was just so good.
I
The parents
loved it.
together, keeping the house together and the family together. Bringing in the other. Oh, I forget his name. Corey, I want to say.
What, the son, Corey and
Yeah.
Eric?
Bringing him in, and it was like some real life stuff. That's what I enjoyed about that show as I got older. That TGI Friday stuff. Oh my TGI Fridays. I'm hungry, aren't I? TGIF Fridays, man. That was something to behold. I mean, I have so many honorable mentions. You mentioned from Boy Meets World. I had Suzanne Summers from Step by Step. That was just perfect. Jill Taylor from Home Improvement.
Peggy Bundy.
Oh, yeah. She would never cook or clean, though. She would just sit there with her bonbons and watch Oprah. Chris, how about yours?
Mine?
Yeah, it's all yours, Chris.
Okay. You just want 5 or 10? I got
however many you want, but we just went with one because it was so tough.
Yeah.
But go with how many you got.
So I'll just go with 1, or 2. We'll go Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, duh.
That's one of them. And then I guess in the animated world, Marge Simpson.
That was, see, I had Marge Simpson, and I was like, yeah, but she's animated.
I know, I was debating it too.
You have any other honorable mentions?
We'll go Claire Huxtable.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
I
great.
can't say the name for some reason.
Claire Huxtable.
Yeah.
Phylicia Rashad, I think was her name. Or is her name, excuse me. Everybody kept mentioning Jane. I'm going to blow her last name, but the mom from Malcolm in the Middle.
I never saw that show.
I never really did either. But it seemed like she was trying to keep it all together, but losing her mind at the same time. And I can't tell you the many times I heard stories from Mom where it was real life like that. I really commend her or whomever did the story writing of that show for Fox. Like, they really, really did well with that. There's countless others that we can talk about. For me, one animated one real quick, Dexter Laboratories mom, the animated mom there. I could think of her, with all the crazy stuff. I'm trying to think of somebody else, but
in the animated world, you could say the mom from Rugrats. Can't remember.
Yes, and the red. What was the red superhero family? The Incredibles.
Oh, Incredibles, yeah.
Yeah, like the mom was always a big part in that, and that was so cool. Well, that was fun though because it was a very tough thing, and I think we would all had 5 or 10
Well, I mean,
easily.
yeah, I mean, sorry to cut you off there, but
No,
there
you
was
good.
a couple others I wanted to list. I mean, you had Sally Field for Forrest Gump,
Yeah,
that did amazing. I mean, she does amazing any movie she's in. So,
that's right.
but Sally Field for Forrest Gump. You have Susan Sarandon for what's that? Stepmom.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, I mean, you can go on and on and on. But yeah, so that was just a couple more to list.
Yeah, again, there's so damn many, and there's some you forget about, and some you absolutely hate, some you absolutely love. So comment in if you're watching wherever you are on your favorite and all of our topics, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So some news real quick, and we weren't here last week, but we are now. So Britney Spears, she's had her issues, safe and at home after a fight at a Los Angeles hotel. She injured her foot somehow, but she mentioned had nothing to do with her boyfriend, in which she was fighting with. It was early last Thursday. Injured her foot, but wasn't treated by medical personnel in this hotel, the Chateau Marmont. Now I'm never staying there. Probably.
Probably
Brittany,
pretty ritzy.
I'll tell you that much. I'll be afraid to touch anything.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
Oh yeah. Spears left with her own security without her boyfriend, and I wanted to mention this too because she said she twisted her ankle, and then that the paramedics showed up illegally, which is wild to me. If she makes that claim, somebody in the hotel probably called for it, hearing probably yelling and all that. I just mentioned this because Brittany lately, she's been on Instagram again, and she's been really, really just questionable. Remember, she was, dancing with knives and wearing next to nothing, just things. She's mentally unstable from her parents and her career from back in the day, and trying to revive that. We thought she was on a good path. She was about to get married, baby, and all that. But just something has gone wrong again. Another story, and it hits kind of close to home for me in a way. Melissa McCarthy, you know her from so many films and so many fun, acting she does. She had some comments come her way from Barbra Streisand, which I haven't heard from in forever. She's a dinosaur, basically.
Yeah.
But Melissa McCarthy was slandered by Streisand because of some Ozempic topic that came up, and Streisand, said something, but it was what's it called? Just not true, or it was put into context the worst way. Melissa McCarthy took it in stride. I only mention this because I miss Melissa McCarthy's in a bunch of things. And she kind of took it in stride, like I mentioned, because she went on later to realize or to tell people, hey, I'm a big Streisand fan. And you don't really see celebrities do that, where they're humble or whatever, and they don't let words hurt them. It's always like a long beef, I should say. And then myself, I'm going on Mounjaro, or however you say it, where you stick the needle in your gut and hopefully the pounds go away. So it's funny how, Barbra Streisand thinks that, Melissa McCarthy has to take Ozempic, and I'm taking Mounjaro, but I just had to put that two together to tell you about my health life as of late and why I was gone from the last show. All right, and then the two other stories here. Mike Myers, who I haven't seen in public in a long ass time. Of course, you know him from SNL, Wayne's World, Austin Powers. never had gray hair, right? He revealed his look as a silver fox, and the fans are praising it. And he had like a crew cut. It looked pretty weird. He was at the AFI Life Achievement Award Gala. Try to say that all the time. 2 Saturdays ago, it will be. And people thought he looked good. This gala was celebrating Nicole Kidman, by the way. I haven't heard from her in a while as well. But, he's also in Shrek, and Scruffy Face to mention as well. And I don't think he looks good, but when you get older, it kind of doesn't matter after a while unless you get plastic surgery. But my question to you two guys, what's one of your favorite entertainers that you never want to see with gray hair, or that look old or starting to get old and you feel really, really bad about it because you want them to be forever young? Chris, I'll start off with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Dragon Viper on that one. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I know there's so many that I could think of now that you're saying to yourself, man, I hope they never grow old. I never hope they have, gray hair, that they never die. Yeah, he has yet to have the gray hair, so that would be one. I think he's avoiding it.
In the hair to prevent that, yeah.
What was that called? Not Rogaine, but the other one. Yeah, Just for Men. I always remember the 2 New York athletes in those commercials. It was Walt Clyde Frazier and Keith Hernandez. Remember, they would be at the microphone, and then they're calling the play-by-play in a commercial of a guy trying to get a girl's number and attention, but he has gray hair. And they would always say, "No play for Mr. Gray." So I always think of that when I think of that product. Dragon Viper, what's one person that you would never want to see?
I know one person that won't, and that's The Rock. Oh. No, there's a lot of actors I like that I don't want to see go gray because that just means they're older, and I kind of don't like that. But Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Adam Sandler, go gray or, get any older. And so I'm going to go with Adam Sandler.
That's one person, he still dresses like I would on a Saturday, but all the time, unless it's a big event. He still has the... Yes, Chris.
I was going to say, now, Jack Black, when he grew out his beard, and it looked a little grayish, silverish.
Yeah, he's starting to get there. Yeah. Thing is, too, he probably just has, like, voice roles, so he doesn't really have to show his face or doesn't care about it, right?
Yeah,
it's weird.
Mr. Koopa on Mario.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you're never really caring about your facial appearance. You're just caring that your voice sounds good after a couple of hot teas, basically. So yeah, that's another guy. When I started to see him get old, it's like, yep, it's getting there. Some other news: Emma Stone would love to be called by her real name at this point. Now, I didn't know that she was known by a different name, outside of the entertainment world. But you see that sometimes, like somebody's last name, somebody's first name, they make it sound better, in a music artist. They kind of change the name around so it sounds better, I should say. Now, I've seen that happen before, but it's just funny when these things come out. She's ready to reclaim her real name. She revealed in March that close friends and co-stars know her as a different name. And it's Emily. Not Emma, but Emily. So if you put Emily Stone, it doesn't sound the same as Emma Stone.
Close enough.
I guess. I don't know.
Close enough.
Yeah. So my question for you guys is, if you guys had a stage name different from your real name, what would it be? So I'll start with Dragon Viper, right? So if
Yep.
it wouldn't be Randy Cox, what would it be called?
You're seeing it. That's what it would be. It would be Dragon Viper, and I would push it till I got it. But that's what it would be.
Dragon Viper Cox, it'll bite you. Can you imagine that? That'll be your name, but in a different type of film work.
Yep, pretty much.
If you get my drift.
Yep.
And one odd note, and I know too much like useless information that won't drive anybody's imagination. But there was this NBA player back in the day for the New Orleans Jazz, and his name was literally Chubby Cox. Just look it up; it's on Google. I'm so serious about that. It's just amazing to see that. I think it was Kobe Bryant's cousin. I really want to say. So instead of Chris Mabry, how would you change your name, Chris?
It'd be Crispy Bacon. It's kind of
Crispy
grown.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! I can see that on the film, on this big screen. And everybody
What
gets
would-
hungry.
What would yours be?
Well, I'd get rid of my last name, that's for sure. You don't see any mini Gonzalez's unless they are changed to like Lopez's,
Yeah.
and Banderas.
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be Jim, just because I'm getting older. Like Jim, but I would have a regular ass, last name, like Jim Reynolds, Jim Smith, Jim Donaldson, Jim Jennings, something like that, where it just rolls off the tongue and it's a name to remember. So I think that's how I would do mine.
But not Ken Jennings and pretend you're on Jeopardy.
What's funny, guys? I thought a long time ago I wanted to change my whole name.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it's just like, okay. I wasn't around really to, take charge of it. Now I can, after all these years later. I could say my ABCs and say words. So I think I can change my name if I wanted to.
Yeah, I wanted to also at one point while I was in high school because I got teased so much. And so I wanted to change my name. And then as soon as I became an adult and was legally able to, I'm like, it's grown on me and it is who I am. I'm going to leave it.
It grew on you.
Yeah. Because I didn't like it. And
Get it?
yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Some movies in theaters, by the way, guys. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, this has been advertised everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'll see it, but will you guys see it?
Nope. Not a
How about you,
big
Chris?
Planet
No.
of the Apes fan.
Too many. Yeah, and too many movies of that.
I'm trying to figure out, is that like 7 or 8? They're
And I
trying to
understand
be
who
like
knows.
they're trying to be like Fast and Furious, and I always tell myself and others, I said, man, they're gonna have a Fast and Furious, but it's gonna be in wheelchairs and walkers at the retirement home, and it'll be Fast 20 or
Yeah,
Slow 20.
I saw something like that on Facebook too. So yeah.
The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. She actually gets to talk in this one. Remember, she was in the Quiet Places movies, where literally the film was silent the whole damn time.
No.
Yeah, I won't
I
see
would
it.
watch it. It looks interesting. I don't know.
Challengers. This is a movie with, I want to say, Zendaya. So she went from kind of a singer to a actress.
Well, she started
Huh?
in Disney Channel, didn't she? She started in Disney Channel, didn't she?
I want to say that. This is a movie also with Josh O'Connor. She was a former, I want to say, a tennis player. She was a former tennis prodigy turned into a coach, and she's married to a champion on a losing streak. It kind of reminds me, guys, of the film back in the day called Match Point, and I think I saw it a while back. It had Jude Law and oh goodness, what was her name? Emily Mortimer, I want to say, or Scarlett Johansson was also in it. But it was a film directed by Willie Allen. It did okay, but I think I'd rather watch that than I would Challengers. It looks pretty stupid compared to Match Point. It looks like it's really dumbed down, and I just wonder if they got the inspiration from Match Point for this. But then they have the writers nowadays who are just awful. That's just one man's opinion. Civil War has been a movie that's been out there for a little bit now, and it's kind of indicative to what's going on literally in the country. I mean, but it's a little over exaggerated. But isn't the country a little bit over exaggerated right now? I guess another one would be Not Another Church Movie. It's another Wayans Brothers movie, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
Or Jamie Foxx, I should say. It might have a Wayans Brothers in it. That look like
Most likely they will be in it.
so. Jamie Foxx is playing a like a Tyler Perry ripoff. Oprah Windfall is Jamie Foxx's Oprah Windfall instead of Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey.
I just hope she probably got permission.
And get this, Mickey Rourke, Vivica A. Fox is in there, as well as Jasmine Guy, who I haven't heard from in years. Tisha Campbell Martin. It's one of those parody movies, if you want to see some of those. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I think, Randy, were you interested in that one?
Yeah, I'm still interested in watching it.
And Dune Part 2, Kung Fu Panda 4. That's another one that's gone on too long, to be honest with you. All right. That's been all the movie theaters. I do have someone that's in the theater or who can get me in at least for a discounted price. I might get the hookup from him next week after work. All right, Chris. So let's have this viral debate, guys. Yeah. If you have that picture.
Before you go on, you did hit a movie you didn't hit a movie that I actually do want to watch. And it's called Tarot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I skipped right over that. What was that? That's stupid if I ask what it's about. It's about cards, I would guess.
Yeah, it's just pretty much a horror movie, and they use tarot cards and they conjure a creature monster up, and that's pretty much what I read. But yeah, I want to actually see that.
Imagine if you could play cards on people in your life that piss you off. That would be amazing. Just think about that.
You have the voodoo doll. You like poke the arm and they get poked and.
Yeah, the voodoo doll. I'd be afraid that it actually worked, and I'd probably hide in a closet or something.
That's acupuncture for dummies right there, literally.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Chris, do you have that picture of those cookies? All right, let's see those, because there's been a viral debate on, Oreo Sour Patch cookies. And if you could tell there, they got the cream filling inside with colorful inclusions. Of course, everybody has to have those now. But the sour taste on the Oreo cookie, I don't know if I would do this, honestly, but I would try it. And not to sound like kicking it, but I had to bring this up because it's debatable. Some people love it for some people like that sour taste. And then you have people like me that hate a sour taste. So, Chris, would you try this?
I'll probably pass. And people like the sourness. Some people don't, and it depends on how sour they are. But I'd probably pass.
I mean, just think about it. Probably when I was middle school, high school, whenever it was, I used to eat Sour Patches with Oreo cookies, and now they blended this all into one, And
Well,
yeah,
all you gotta do is put the two, like take a bite of the Oreo, take a bite of the Sour Patch, and
I don't think I ever
don't know.
tried that, but it kind of reminds me of that movie Heavyweights back in the day, and it was a Disney movie, and
Mhm.
Kenan Thompson's sitting there, and everybody's pigged out, and they wake up early in the morning, and it was a kids fat camp basically, and the leader asked them like, "Hey, does anybody have any regrets?" And it was like Kenan Thompson said, "Never put Oreos on a pizza." So I don't know if I would do that either
Nope.
nowadays. Dragon Viper, how about
No.
you? Would you try these?
If you were to ask me about 20, 25 years ago, I'd say yes, because I would eat sour things like warheads and
Oh,
a bunch of sour things. But as time started going on and I started getting older, it just seemed like that eating sour things just wasn't my thing anymore. Would I try these Oreos? Probably not. For one, it wouldn't be good for my health now, and for two, it would be sour, and I couldn't stand it. So yeah, the answer would be no.
just imagine if they had Oreo Tapatio. That would be a blend of like
A lot of stuff.
cool with hot.
Yeah.
Just the idea out there. I don't want to take credit. All right, so let's get to some of our favorite topics. Well, I should say topic and some of our favorite things. 10 or less, and we rank them. So the first one I have for everyone is our favorite music artist and their songs, like a top 10 list. Dragon Valkyrie, I'll go with you first.
I love doing these because of the fact that I am so random with, especially music. So I really do enjoy these. So I started with number 10, Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars. Number 9, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Number 8, Three Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. 7, Crash and Burn by Savage Garden. 6, Saving Me by Nickelback.
Wow.
Number 5, Billionaire by Travis McCoy and Bruno Mars. Love that song. Number 4, the Ghostbusters theme song by Ray Parker Jr. Number 3, Nothing Really Matters by Metallica. Number 2, Hysteria, Def Leppard. And number 1, Forgot About Dre by Eminem and Dr. Dre. And I have a few honorables like I usually do. Linger, the Cranberries.
Yes.
I Need You by Leanne Rimes. And Bad Things by Camila Cabello and MGK, Machine Gun Kelly.
I heard that. I Need You, Leon Rhymes, I think a couple of days ago. Totally random. I was like, hey, I remember that song.
But yes, I am very, very random, and I enjoy it.
Hell yeah. See, that's kind of like me in a way. I have so many moods during the day, and I think it reflects in what I hear in my ear. One lyric that I remember in Ghostbusters, I never really thought about it until like last month or so when I heard the song. Kind of at the end of the song, Ray Parker Jr., he mentions, "Bustin' makes me feel so good." I like to think there's an innuendo in there somewhere.
Yeah. Ghost busting, okay? Getting rid of those ghosts. That's what it means.
Bustin' make me feel good.
Oh boy.
There's little things that there's a woman I think on TikTok or YouTube, and she'll play old lyrics and like write them out, or it'll say them, and it's like, wait, what the hell does this really mean? As you get older, you know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Chris, how about yours? What's your favorite top 10 songs from a music artist?
We'll go "We Will Rock You" by Queen. "Living on a Prayer." We'll go. Oh man, it's hard to pick 10. I know there's those two. "Welcome to the Jungle."
Oh, I forgot GNR.
I feel like this is your karaoke
Probably-
list. You'll start off with those
Yeah.
4 right away.
Oh, Journey. There you go.
Oh,
Journey,
yeah.
I missed Journey too. Damn it.
And that's probably it. Those are my 4.
All right. So mine, I kind of probably misunderstood what the hell I was writing, but I mentioned favorite music artist song, and I just went with one artist. So I went with Billy Joel because I've been hearing about him like all week last week, and he was, doing a show with Howard Stern. He's been on tour. He has an album coming out, and he hasn't written anything new since 1993 or 4. So
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, 1993. He hasn't
Oh.
written a new song, and he just did, and he's on tour with new music. So right away, I came up with something. And what's funny, I'll talk about it when the song comes up. But my brother was kind of scared for my life after he heard one song that I shared with him. Anyway, Billy Joel songs, not in any particular order, but Pressure, Uptown Girl, All About Soul, and then Famous Last Words. So that's the song he's talking about. I'll never write another song again. I'll never do any more songwriting ever again. And it was 30 plus years of it that he didn't. But my brother thought like I was going to commit, suicide or whatever. I was like, no, I just like the way it sounds. I remember it from a video. My brother is like, wait, why did you mention this song? Famous Last Words, But I kind of had, there was kind of a scare in the family, I think. You May Be Right, Allentown, Big Shot, She's Always a Woman, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, and My Life. And there's so many other honorable mentions. I couldn't cut it down to 10 or whatever, or couldn't just cut it down to 10. All right. So, keeping with the 80s theme, because, in Step Brothers, how people get pissed at the wine or the wine mixer.
Yep.
that one guy only, wanted the Billy Joel cover band that's called Uptown Girl to play
Yeah.
70s songs. But Horatio Sands is saying, hey, we only play 80s Billy Joel. Bleep, 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 and all that. So
Yeah.
I'm reminded all the time by that. But what's our favorite top 10 80s movies? I'll go with Dragon Viper here.
Let's see. Number 10, Back to the Future. Number 9, Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Number 7, The Karate Kid. Number
Which
6.
song?
Number 6, Scarface. Number 5, National Lampoon's Vacation and Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, The Golden Child. Number 3, The Labyrinth. Number 2, La Bamba. Number 1, Ghostbusters. And my honorable mentions are E.T., The Princess Bride, and Airplane.
It's funny. I have a friend that looks just like E.T. combined with what's that chubby? No. What's that like slithery thing from Star Wars?
Oh, the big guy? I don't
Jabba.
remember his name.
Jabba the Hutt. Yeah. So he
Yeah.
looks like all of those things all in one, and I remind him that every time I see him. Anywho, that sounds so bad, but I do it anyway. That's why people love me. Chris, how about yours?
Yeah. Number 10, Ghostbusters. Number 9, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Number 8, Die Hard. Number 7, The Princess Bride. 6, Blade Runner.
I've never
5,
seen that.
5, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. 4, E.T. 3, Raiders of the Lost Ark. 2, The Breakfast Club. And 1, Back to the Future. The first one.
I was gonna say, God, that reminds me of that one time when I was younger. Man, this kid who I was like babysitting, he wanted me to watch all 3 Back to the Future with him nonstop. And I just
Oh.
pretended to go to sleep after number 2 because I remember number 3 and I didn't like it as much as number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But every time I hear Back to the Future, I think of that Saturday that I really just wanted to go outside. I never did. All right, so my favorite 80s movies, top 10, and honorable mentions as well. So 1 through 10, Mannequin. A shout out to my mom. She would watch that, and I would watch it with her all the time. And I plan to watch it sometime very soon, maybe even tonight. And it's one of those things that, you know, like Dragon Viper mentioned earlier today, is like, hey, kind of don't want to admit out loud that I watch or see something. That's one of those. And I recently had a friend, and I was like, you ever seen that movie Mannequin? And he was like, oh yeah, my mom and I would watch that all the time. Same. It was just the funniest connection about that. The Breakfast Club, that's just a classic. I got you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saturdays. You know, all those.
Yeah.
I got that guy. Oh God, Trading Places. That's another one I really like. Shout out to Casey King. That's one of his favorite movies. Scarface, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You need people like me to tell you who the bad guy is. Take a look say hello. No, say goodbye to the bad guy. Whatever. Beverly Hills Cop. I just love that one. I don't really have love for the third one. I kind of like the second one.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's just a dream scenario of a day, depending on what part of Chicago you go to. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think that was a trendsetter. I really do. I really enjoy that movie every time it comes on, and just the fact that all these actors and actresses, they look so much older than high school kids. That's a theme in the 80s movies that really isn't talked about much. But who was that guy that was selling the tickets and slept with his best friend's girl or whatever? I forget that dude's name in that movie. But that dude looks like 32, and he's 18 in high school or whatever. He's kind of that a-hole. Major League, of course, a movie about the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
And that's kind of happening here with the Oakland A's in real life in 2024. Young Guns. Now, I have to give a shout out to some of my friends and their mom who passed away earlier this year. They got me hooked to that movie. I've never seen it before. And I was hooked from the first time I saw it with them. I might have been high, too, at the same time. But I really, really enjoyed that movie so much. I didn't think much about it at first, but I thought, man, that's a great cast they have. Great cast. Let's see. Another one. My favorite probably of all time is definitely Coming to America. And I saw that when I was kind of young. I didn't really get the references like I would now.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I love that movie. The whole McDowell's thing. The whole, James, was that dude's name? What's that dude's name that played Darth Vader?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. Thank you. I was going with James Edward Olmos, but that's another dude.
No.
Whoops. That's also a honorable mention is Stand and Deliver. And then the other one that's in the top 10 for me would be Adventures in Babysitting. That's another one my mom would have me watch, and I just really enjoyed that. The whole Thor thing, riding the subway, going to parties, the whole house band and the party, Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
She's good to look at her. But it's amazing though, how much I love that movie. Now, some honorable mentions: La Bamba, Valley Girl, and I just saw that I think about 2 or 3 months ago. But for some reason, I really enjoyed it. Nicolas Cage wasn't as odd in that movie as the ones he did after. And that dude is awkward as hell. But in that movie, he was kind of okay. Not as scary. War Games. I love that movie with Matthew Broderick. It's a really, really good one. And it would be something now I could see happening. A kid controlling the earth and people thinking it's really going on. And he gets taken in. It's a real interesting movie. Do the Right Thing was kind of revolutionary with Spike Lee. Great cast in that movie as well. I really enjoyed that when I had a woke side to myself. Better Off Dead with John Cusack among others. They really made fun of all the other 80s teen movies in that. So that was a really fun movie. It was a kind of foreshadowing to not another teen movie, and then other movies that would make fun of movies. So I really, really enjoyed that movie. I had a friend show me that one night before I went to sleep, and I was laughing my ass off. Say Anything, another John Cusack movie. I really enjoyed that one too, and the story about it. The whole fact that he's holding a boombox outside the girl's window, and the struggles of the father and the daughter trying to make it. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that, I think, when I was like 10 or 11. I didn't understand it at first. Now I do. And I just love that movie. Whenever it's on, I stop everything and watch it. I really enjoy it. I didn't see number 2 and then the recent one. I just didn't want to spoil the first one,
I watched the recent one probably 5 months, no, longer than that. About a year ago, I watched it when it first came out, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't as big, as fun to watch, but I thought it was okay. Yeah.
It's hard to bring back that love and fill-in from the first one. I can tell you that much. Police Academy. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, especially when you have such a long time span between the first and second movie, and then a third. So
it's like 30 years, 30 plus years.
Pretty much.
Police Academy 1 and 2 and maybe 3. I didn't see the other ones. Like they had one in Japan, I want to say. I didn't see that one. They had one along the beach or something like that. And then Citizens on Patrol, it's just funny because there's all these young actors in it, like David Spade, among others, that became, big people. But they're literally cast members in this movie, Police Academy, Citizens on Patrol. That's another one my mom had me watch, and I knew nothing about it, but I absolutely love it. So thank you, Mom. All right. So our favorite John Candy movies. And this was a very tough list to knock down. I'll start with Chris on this one.
Pass on me for a little bit.
Okay. How about you, Dragon Viper?
All right.
This is going to be a short list because I thought John Candy was an absolute, rock star as an actor. Unfortunately, I haven't seen much of his movies. Which I'm kind of embarrassed to say because it's John Candy and he's awesome, but I do have a list of 6 that I have seen of his. So number 6 was Follow That Bird. He was in it, and as a cop, he had a short part in it, but I still enjoyed him being in that. Number 5 was Uncle Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 was Rookie of the Year. He was a announcer, commentator. Number 3, Spaceballs. Seems like that's almost everybody's favorite, and I enjoy it. Number 2, National Lampoon's Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
As the security guy.
Remember he's on the roller coaster with the family?
Yep.
I love that part.
And he's trying not to throw up, and Chevy Chase is holding his mouth so he doesn't. And then number 1, Home Alone. So I haven't seen many of his movies, but I have seen 6, so I was able to do that.
It's great. I think there's a shirt, there's a shirt of the company, no, of the band that he is with out there in the Home Alone movie. There's literally a gold or yellow shirt, and not many people would know the reference, but I think we would.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Polka.
Yeah. So my list, real quick. Uncle Buck. I just saw it last weekend. It happened to be on. I was trying to fall asleep, but I literally memorized the movie. That's my favorite Candy movie of all time. Summer Rental's one I saw probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and I never saw it before. And I just loved it because it was just him. If you were on a day, following him around, and he was on the beach and he's not used to being there, and all the crazy things that happened to him, it was kind of a pre showing of what Al Bundy would go through if he ever went to the beach. It was kind of like that with Summer Rental. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because you kind of saw that he could play a different role in that. He was literally, a widow going around the country, lying about what he was doing. And he finds, Steve Martin, being a family man trying to get home for Christmas. And they awkwardly are together the whole time. So it's a really real film. I really enjoy that. The Great Outdoors with him and Dan Aykroyd. That's a really fun movie. The scene where he has to eat that steak for it to be free or something like that. That's a really good movie there. Armed and Dangerous. That's one movie with Eugene Levy and Meg Ryan, young Meg Ryan, and then Debo from Friday. He was in there as a suspect. He was, big as hell, whatever. But anytime those movies and those alumni from SCTV is in it, I'm going to watch it. So I do remember seeing that one a while back. He was the coach in Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team. That was a fun movie for me. Spaceballs, when he was that character. And then the Blues Brothers, when he is the police chief that keeps trying to track the Blues Brothers down, but keeps getting left at the altar there because of crazy things happening. So we thank John Candy definitely for his life and his comedic affairs there. All right, let's get to some trivia before we get out of here. I mentioned, sadly, it's not multiple choice, but I tried to make it easy trivia questions here. Horrific.
You're just trying to make it harder for me.
Yeah, no. I would struggle with these, no doubt about it. Okay, let's go with Dragon Viper on this one. Which horror film franchise features a group of people surviving elaborate death traps set by Jigsaw?
Well, Saw.
It's in the main character's name, I guess. All right, that's franchise. One. Okay, Chris, what 1984 horror movie features a group of scientists battling supernatural forces for money? It's been mentioned a lot lately in this show.
Repeat that one more time.
Okay, which 1984 horror movie features a group of scientists battling supernatural forces for money?
Saw?
No.
I don't know.
How about you, Dragon Viper?
Oh, I've never. I don't think I've ever heard of it, honestly.
Busted Makes Me Feel Good.
Oh, Ghost. Oh my God.
I think the lettering of the question kind of threw people off. I could have said Ghost.
Yeah, right? I think that the wording was, no. Oh my God. And I love that movie.
That's why I mentioned, Chris. It's been said today plenty of times.
God.
All right, Dragon Viper. So what 1999 found footage horror film is centered around a group of students who investigate a local legend?
The Blair Witch Project.
Yep, and I remember seeing that back in the day.
Uh-huh.
That and what was the thing that came out of the TV?
The Ring.
Yo, that and the Ring. Thank you, Dragon Viper. Yeah, that and the Ring. Oh my god, 12-year-old me was just. Oh my god, I put blanket over myself, at night. Oh, that was bad.
I thought it was lame, but both of them.
Yeah, I would probably watch it now and think that too. Chris, okay. Which horror movie franchise follows the vengeful spirit of a young girl named Samara who haunts those who watch a cursed videotape?
Poltergeist?
No. How about you, Dragon Viper?
Yeah. The Ring.
Yep, it is.
I was gonna say that's a trick question.
It just came up next, so I was like, "Oh, that's convenient as hell."
Yeah, you said a trick question, and we just said the answer.
Yeah, and I forgot the name of the little girl that comes out. I've never seen Poltergeist. I don't think. No. All right, Dragon Viper. What's the name of the fictional town where the events of Stranger Things take place?
Oh, come on.
My God, are you kidding me?
Somebody watches this here, right?
I do.
You do, okay. I was like, wait, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, because I've talked about it. I'm still waiting for the 5th season.
Is that the last season too?
Yeah, it's the final, yeah. Hawkins.
What state?
What state?
Mm-hmm.
Indiana.
Okay. Is that a real place too, or no?
No.
I know there's a Hawkins, Texas.
Yeah, no, I don't believe there is a Hawkins, Indiana.
You know what's funny about this? The Simpsons, they never really said what state Springfield they're in, but everybody thinks it's Illinois.
They kind of did in a way.
I think they said Missouri.
No, they said Oregon.
They said Oregon?
Yeah.
Really?
Especially because the creator lives in Portland, or lived in Portland, or grew up in Portland, something like that. Matt Groening. Yeah. But,
great story about how that series all started on the Tracy Ullman show back in 1989, I want to say, and just how it took off from there. And I love the Tracy Ullman show from when I used to watch it. All right, Chris, what's the name of the evil doll possessed by a serial killer spirit in Child's Play?
I almost feel like this is a trick question.
It is.
Child's Play. I don't know.
What's the evil doll's name in Child's Play?
Child's Play? I don't know. Chucky.
How about you, Jack Viper?
Chucky.
I should have said John Gruden, Chris, and maybe you would have had that. There was one I wanted to get to.
Oh, I get it, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, Dragon Viper, which horror movie is known for the iconic line, "Here's Johnny," as a crazed maniac breaks through a door?
Oh my God. Why am I drawing a blank right now?
I am too.
It's oh come on.
I'm just playing.
Hey. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Give me a sec.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
No. I'm gonna have to say The Shining.
It is.
I thought so. I don't know why I blanked on it. I like that movie.
Isn't that the girl with the bat and she's like this as he's going through the door? Right?
Yeah.
She has a she has a bat or something.
Yeah, she I think it was a bat and she's hiding behind the door when he pops his head through the center of the door.
Yeah, I've seen that picture of her and they put her on a baseball card like this. The funniest thing. And I got the reference for once. The last question for Chris. Which horror film showcases a family struggle to survive in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by blind and deadly creatures?
Repeat that one more time.
Okay, which horror film showcases a family's struggle to survive in a post help me out, Dragon Viper. Apocalyptic
Apocalyptic.
world overran by blind and deadly creatures. And we mentioned this earlier when I mentioned Emily Blunt.
Aliens? I don't know.
No. How about you, Dragon Viper? And there's 2 movies of this. Emily Blunt and Jim from The Office is in it.
I'm trying to remember.
It's a silent film, by the way.
A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to remember which movie
No.
you had talked about with Emily Blunt, but yeah.
It's funny how all these questions intertwine with each other.
Especially when we talk about it tonight.
Yeah, it's
I
funny
need
how
to pay attention more.
it's funny how like, hey, this was like a school test. Literally, we went through it. It's in the books. It's in the script.
Well, what
And
helped
then
was
now
the
it's
fact
test
you said,
time.
what helped is the fact you said it was a silent movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, we had fun on this entertainment hour. I hope you did
Yep.
out there as well. Crispy Bacon, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back next week for Entertainment Hour. Join us tomorrow for Oregon Cougars football and Between the Ropes and On Deck Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Mine, are definitely the same about those things. What about you, Dragon Viper?
Thank you for everybody for watching. And it's like what Chris said, for Between the Ropes tomorrow. Of course, that's one of the shows I'll be on. And I hope everybody has a good night and a good weekend.
And again, we think about the stories that we talked about first. Forgive me, I forget her name on Grease. Damn it, I forgot her name. Susan. Goodness, I forget her name. And then Sam Rubin. Again, he'll be very, very much missed in the Southern California area and in the entertainment world.
Yeah,
That's the reason
Susan
we do.
Buckner.
That's her name, Buckner. Thank you. I'm just all lost in trivia and lists and all that, but that's why you're here. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, put them stars on Facebook, however that works, and let us know how we're doing in the comments. Later, folks.